Okay, so this is a little project we've got coming up in BRM very shortly. A bit of a Christmas wintry themed model railway. Ideal for Christmas. Bit of a simple oval section of track. A few little nods to Christmas there with Santa Claus and pine trees. And well, here we are, some wood. This is going to be the basis of the baseboards. And I'm just going to get stuck in now and sand them all down, because this is all as it's come exactly from the timber merchants. It's all been pre-cut to the dimensions I gave them. So we're just going to tidy up all of the loose ragged edges, make sure there's no splinters in it before we start gluing and nailing the baseboard together. Okay, so key points to remember when you're sanding something is that there's plenty of opportunities here to get one of these nice lovely splinters stuck in your finger. So what I tend to do is grab a nice section of sandpaper. You can see this has already been worn, but sandpaper does tend to last quite a long time. You can just turn it inside out and back to front, etc. But make sure there's enough of a thickness there so that if you wear through the first layer, it's not going to go straight through and into your fingers. I tend to keep my fingers tucked inside underneath, and to start with, for the large splinters, just give it a large sweep like that in the same direction to get rid of everything. And then once you've got rid of those large splinters, you can then start to work it to and fro. Just work on the angle. Same on the bottom. And because you're not going to want to watch a video of me sanding this endlessly, let's leave it here and we'll come back when all of the pieces are sanded. Okay, next on the agenda is how we fix all of this wood together. So I'm going to go for some 20mm bright steel. These are called moulding pins, but what you're really after is a 20mm pin, because we're using 9mm ply, so it gives enough of a bite into the material beneath. There we go. And I'm going to nail and glue this into place. Now the glue I'm using, it's called an aliphatic resin. Now obviously the label's gone, but this is from Deluxe Materials. It's slightly stronger than a whitewood glue. You mustn't let it freeze, so don't keep it outside where it's likely to freeze inside a shed or anything like that. But it is quite waterproof. Once you, unlike PVA, where if you let it, once it's dry, you can soak it in water to lift your track or things like that if you're using it as a ballast adhesive. This stuff, once it goes off, it's got a very strong hold. So this is the glue of choice where baseboards are concerned for me. So I'm just going to get gluing this and nailing it into place with a little hobby hammer, and we'll catch up in a bit. Okay, so let's show you what's going on here. So a bit of glue down this edge here. Got to make sure we get it on the correct edge of the wood. I'm applying it sparingly. It can always ooze out from the sides, but I'd rather there's too much glue than not enough. We'll just align it into position there. And for the time being, I think I'm just going to use 2 of these small pins. So one sort of towards the top, say about there. Hold it with my fingers into position. Now, important thing to remember when you're using these pins is not to get one that's too wide and ends up becoming a nail, because there we go. If you start using nails, you're going to start splitting the wood, and ply, remember, is a laminate, and if you start forcing something too big between the laminates, you will start to delaminate the ply, and you just end up with a bit of a mess, really. So small thin pins like these are brilliant. Some people prefer to use screws. If you are using screws, you're going to need to start pre-drilling the wood, i.e. drill a little hole so that you don't split the wood when you drive the screw in. But with these there's no need to do any of that. You can just glue and tack away. There we are, just remove all the excess with your finger. Make sure there's none left on the baseboard top underneath, and we'll just continue working our way around the outside of it like that.